Hey everyone, Selina here. Welcome to this episode of Selina Thomas, SCV HR Guru, where I bring the stories of small businesses and the people behind them to you. I am so excited to interview this next guest. He is a business owner that has developed a business during COVID, which is difficult to do when many businesses shut down. He saw a niche and he developed a brand that is now thriving. I'm so excited for him to share his story, his journey, and of course, what we can look forward to. Looking forward to you meeting Moses Rodriguez of No Mo Junk. I'm excited about that name and obviously for the fact that we're going to have a fun fact by the end of this episode. Thanks for joining us. Look forward to seeing you next time. Continue to stay safe, everybody.
There it is.
Mo, how you doing?
Good.
Good to see you. Thanks for taking the time today. I so appreciate you. I just did an intro about you and I spoke to your company, but you are the perfect guest in this time. I wanted to highlight you and let you share your journey about how you started your company in COVID, which for all of us has been a crisis, but really you're thriving and you're growing and looking forward to continued growth even once things kind of get back to normal. So I wanted to introduce you. Everybody, this is Moses Rodriguez. He is the owner of No Mo Junk. I love the name.
Thank
Obviously, you know, the spin on words, but it's branding wise, you've done a great job. And it's starting, I'm seeing the truck everywhere. So tell me about your business, how you started, and of course, a little bit about you.
How do I started? So I did start right after COVID. I was unfortunately laid off for a little bit from my current employer, and just in this dining table right here, I'm like, what am I gonna do? What can I do? And the wheel started turning, and I
Mhm.
started No More Junk. I remove, haul away any junk items, trash,
Mhm.
whatever. And yeah.
Well, interesting. During COVID, people were cleaning out their closets. I cleaned out my garage. And then I realized, okay, now what? Because we were shuttered and everyone started to get organized. They started working from home, setting up home offices. So is that some of the things that you're encountering when you're getting calls?
Yeah, even a lot of DIYers. I want to put a planter wall. I want to do this. I want to, fix up my room. And it's a little construction debris.
Mhm.
So yeah, get it all. And so it's good.
That's great. So when you're driving around, because I've seen your truck and I actually have your promo playing at the beginning of this episode, I'm sure that people are honking, they're calling, they're, waving you down. What's that been like for you?
Good, good. The little emoji kind of slash logo, just with my
Hmm.
finger, thumbs
Hmm.
up in the air.
Hmm.
People just, drive by and just give me a little thumbs up.
Hmm.
But it feels good. The phone's ringing. I'm networking, obviously, with people that I know, my friends, my
Sure.
family, and then it's going, it's going.
Spreading the word. That's the premise of 6 Degrees. We're all connected in this community, and then it expands from there. So obviously now you've developed a business and you are a family man. So your family, to some degree, and I've seen your son before helping you pick up things, everyone is involved. Everyone's invested in the success of your family business. And I know you have small kids, so what's that been like for them to see you evolve from dad working for a company and now dad owning the company?
It's funny because my son's like, Dad, I want to be this, like you, when I grow up. And I'm like, okay. And then I got he has a little wagon connected with a zip tie to his power wheel. And, it's pretty cool to see my son. Oh, this is my no mo junk truck.
Inspired.
He puts a little broom behind it. And, so it feels pretty cool that they're little kids, but they're watching every move, as you know. So,
And that's so important. And that's why I love to work with family owned businesses because from it spawns, families that are more united and giving to the community and being a part of a positive, impact in the community. And people's junk being hauled away is important because, we all live in a community where we take pride in our homes and we take
yeah.
pride and of course we pay attention to our neighbors. And so one of the questions I have, because we have people in this crisis that have become depressed and shuttered. And so I would imagine that some of the people that are calling are kind of cleansing themselves from that. And you're a part of that. And I think that's so important to share that.
Yeah, yeah. They get a call. I get a lot of calls of my husband is gonna work out from home now. So, we need to take all this stuff that we really don't use. And I see them setting up their gyms because most of them can't go to the gym. So,
Sure.
yeah, it's people are looking at different ways of staying busy and staying active and,
And at home.
and at home because they
Yes.
got nothing.
So you're the perfect person to come help them clean that out. But that must be very gratifying for you to see, and I know the industry you worked in before, to see someone's home change into something that they're proud of, but also that they can exist in and be functional.
Yeah.
'Cause it's different now. Everybody has to work from home, and you said you're at your table trying to figure out how to make this happen, and home has become all things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
I get wives calling me if I want to be at home. Otherwise, be clean, clutter free. Because the clutter gets a little bit out of hand sometimes, and it
Stifling.
it's like a not a bad vibe, but it's like like clean
Yeah,
space in your living room. You can walk in your house and your garage.
sure.
So
Get organized.
get organized. Yeah,
So I like this part. So I talked to you about this once before, but this is like you're like the honeydew list. So the husband can call and go, "You're taking this off my hands because I know my wife is like frustrated." But
yeah,
that must be, a relief too when you see husbands go, "Okay, good. Now I can check that off and she's not on me and I
yes.
can
I
work out again."
yeah. Unite couples, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's such a, needed thing in our community, especially when people are shuttered. They get frustrated being at home, and if the space isn't right, it almost adds to the fact that we have to stay home.
Yeah.
So, for you, when you came up with the brand, you came up with the name. Now, obviously, the name is your name.
Yeah.
What a perfect opportunity to kind of blend who you are into your brand.
Yeah, I've never been a person to use my name or like Joe Schmo's plumbing or whatever. I just thought it was a little tacky. But
Hmm.
my friend Victor, he's like, it goes with no more, no more junk, and it kind of like I liked it,
Perfect. Hmm.
and yeah,
And that's how it was born.
that's how I was born.
Yeah.
Just telling a friend, I'm like, I have this idea, but I don't know what to say, what to call it.
Mhm.
And he's like, well, you're Mo, and you're more junk, and I'm like, I like.
Yes.
That.
And I know when I saw it, I loved it.
Yeah, I had to put my logo, like my face in it, because people are gonna see. Well, some guy can't spell more, and he forgot the.
Right.
So I had to put my logo face in it, so
Sure.
it makes it like, oh, it's a person. Yeah. So
Mhm. So when you show up and you have Mo on you, they're like, "Oh, you're Mo."
yeah, I'm Mo.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have it on my
Hmm.
little name tag here for my
Hmm.
see, and just my name is Mo, and I'm no
They
more
must
junk.
really like that they're meeting Mo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They get a kick out of it. A lot of people for sure like the name.
And it speaks to the fact that you're hands-on, that you're the owner coming out and
Yeah,
you're doing the heavy lifting. And I know as a small business owner myself, people are often surprised that I don't um, send out the file to somebody else and outsource it, I'm it. And so that's something that's really important for people to know in terms of your brand, that you stand behind it and you stand for it by being out there rolling up your sleeves.
Every day, every day.
Yeah, the grind. So I saw your promo. I really liked it. And it showed a young man, and we've seen him working before. But what has that been like for you to employ someone? You've been employed before, but now you're giving opportunity to someone else. That must be really rewarding.
It is rewarding. I do have a good coach of making your employees happy.
Right.
And I'm very, I don't have this big company yet, but I try to keep them very happy, um, flexible with them, and he's young, but
Mm-hmm.
and even if he's not going to stay for a long term, I still try to coach him myself. Like, what do you want to do when you grow up, and what do you,
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do? You're young, do your thing, so keep him
That's so
happy.
important that you not only provide an opportunity for him to work, but mentor him
Yeah.
along the way. Because I think
I-
when we see young kids go out into the world, they've come from opportunities like yours and they're just more well rounded as employees.
Yeah, yeah, and then they're young, so like, hey man, you gotta be on time, and they're not used to that kind of stuff. Wearing a uniform, pick your pants up.
And certainly you are speaking to the fact that you're representing me. You're representing no mo
Yeah,
junk. You
yes,
might not be Bo, but I am, and I
yeah,
have a standard.
yes. You gotta
That's the brand. Hmm.
smile, be friendly to the customer. Typical customer service. Yeah,
And work ethic. I mean, I
work.
think when they see you willing, and that's what the promo shows, you're actually out there with him, and it speaks to the integrity of the company. I think you've done a phenomenal job with your branding, and I think
Thank you.
you'll have nothing but great things to come. So, speaking of the great things to come, we're all going to be coming out of this, and people are still, the housing market in this valley is phenomenal. And
Yes.
I know that that's going to be part of the calls, that you get people that are selling and buying houses and remodeling houses. So
Mm-hmm.
what's the trends for you right now in your calls?
My calls are definitely, we're moving, buying another house. I left this junk. Sometimes even people take their junk with them, and then they figure, well, this kind of a smaller house or a bigger house. I'm gonna get rid of this, remodel. So a
Mhm,
lot of that, a lot of they're fixing up something. They bought something,
mhm,
but a
mhm.
homeowner myself. When I bought my house, like, I'm gonna paint here, I'm gonna fix
Sure.
this. A lot of little projects that come around. So yeah, that's a lot of
Mhm.
people calling me right now for stuff like that.
And that's only going to continue because the market, I mean,
Yeah,
this is the time to buy. I'm in escrow myself. I get it.
construction everywhere you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, are you developing any collaborative relationships right now with anybody? Because this is obviously a niche market that
Mhm.
is going to be so needed. And so, what are you doing in terms of that? Or has anybody reached out to you to say, hey, you know what? I think I want to have a constant kind of connection with you because we're breaking things down, putting things up. What's been
I
happening?
Realtors are the ones. They're like, I'm trying to sell this property, and there's a lot of junk in
Mhm.
the backyard.
Yes.
It Before, it was a occupied home. They
Hmm.
left. And now I'm going to sell the home. So I get a lot of realtors calling me to, just make it look nice for the viewings and the show,
Staging,
they
sure.
like that. So especially
Yeah.
that.
And that's gratifying too, because now you know you've helped someone sell a house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And walking into the new home. So yeah.
So for you coming up, I know that you're actually working your day job and then no more junk is your night job. And
Yeah.
so there's going to be this transition point or this kind of seminal moment where it becomes the company that you're focused on. Have you thought about that? Have you had visions of no more junk being
Uh,
your primary means?
yes, but I'm taking it step by step. I
Sure.
know growing pains in it. But
Hmm.
I value my family more. I think this came about
Absolutely.
because I was worked for my family to provide for my family. My kids are small. I have a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I know I can make this company good and big in the next 6-7 years. But I want to be there with my kids as well. So
Absolutely.
be there for karate. I mean, I just came from karate practice and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I'm okay with taking it slow.
sure.
But I obviously, you inspire
It's a
bigger things.
short window with your
Yeah.
kids. I get that.
Once my kids leave me and they're like, "All right, see you, dad. I'm going out with my friends," and we'll talk about. But right now, I'm okay. But I feel good that I have something. Obviously, we want the world to go back the way it was, but
Sure.
I feel good that there's something that I have that could help me go through this hard phases.
And I think that's in all of my travels, what I've heard a lot was that people became creative in the crisis. They didn't kind of sit at that table and decide, woe is me. Besides waiting on things to open up, they were like, I'm going to just have to take charge. And I think I'm so impressed with many entrepreneurs that I've met that have done that and have evolved into different people because of it. And so you should be really proud that even if it's something small for you right now, that you figured that out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it goes back to my parents. They were
Mm.
always. My dad had 3 jobs at one point. My mom
Mm.
always working and taking care of us at night. And I remember calling her, hey, I got laid off, and she's like, you'll be okay, you'll be okay, you'll figure it out. And she would just tell me what happened in '94 earthquake, that she didn't
Hmm.
have a job, she didn't have any money, she was asking for churches for food in '94 earthquake.
Wow.
And and then that kind of inspired me to, like, man, if she did it with no money, no nothing, no job, I was still lucky enough to go on employment, and then that helped me. And then stimulus check came in, and I didn't just buy
Sure.
it with it. I actually invested it to my business.
That's
So
impressive.
yeah,
And I love that she shared that story with you, and we have to share our journey with our kids because that allows them not to make excuses. And
yeah,
it sounds like your mom was saying to you, no excuses. I figured it out. You're gonna
yep,
get to that table, you're gonna pull your bootstraps out, and you're gonna do the same that I've done for you. That's so impressive. I love that.
yeah.
So, is any family members working for you besides your son?
No, my the young gentleman is my cousin. Um,
Okay.
he's 17. He's still going to school, but on the side, obviously, I'm working in the morning. He's going to school, so we do it in the afternoon or Saturdays and Sundays. And then my son has to go. I mean, sometimes just to not to
With his
help
little truck.
the little truck, and just to help throw some flyers out. But we gotta get up and go to
Oh,
work.
that's fantastic. He's marketing. I love that. And who wouldn't accept something from a really cute kid? I mean, I would definitely. That's very smart. I like that. So, I always do this in my shows because I think it helps people understand who not only I am, but my guests are. And so I always have fun facts. I kind of have developed this way of, as an HR lady, having to know people. I always try to share so that I can get to know them and they can get to know me. So I have a fun fact for you about me, but I want you to think about a fun fact about you that
Okay.
the audience, can get to know you. And I definitely am going to share your information at the end of this episode. I know that you're keeping it small, but I think they should know that there's a resource like No More Junk in town, reasonably priced,
Nice.
locally owned and born in terms of you birthed this business in this community, and this is a ripe community for small businesses. I know that for a fact, and I think when small businesses hear about you, they're going to be excited because I'm sure your customers aren't just homeowners. They've got businesses that I would imagine need to kind of clean up shop sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my fun fact, um, in that I have developed this company here, and I like you have kids, and I make them participate in all of the various tasks for my company. And a lot of people don't know this, but my daughter Morgan is the producer of this show. She's only 15 years old, but she's figured out how to use editing software, and she literally can now do all of my commercials all my shows. And the fun fact about that is that we ultimately don't know what they're capable until we put them in a situation where, like you, they have to figure it out. And what comes from that is something magical, and they've got a skill now. So she's actually been nominated by CNN for an award for a documentary she produced on racism. So, in the climate of what our country has gone through, something like that could come from a crisis. And so that's my fun fact today. But it's relevant to the times, and what we have to learn from crises is that we're stronger than we realize, and we can do so much more than we thought.
Yeah.
So that's mine. And I love yours about your son. He's just adorable.
Thank you. Thank you. Fun fact about my family, or just overall, or
Just about Mo or no more junk
no,
or just something funny. Hmm.
something funny. Hmm. Nothing comes up to mind right now. Just I don't know. I mean, fun fact, I guess you could say I came here to Santa Clarita since I was 5 years old.
Hmm.
Uh, I was from I don't know if it's a fun fact, but a fact that my parents were illegally came to the United States. They got their citizenship. They
Wow.
showed me so much work ethic. It's unbelievable. First high school student, a high school graduate from my family, both sides, and I just, you know, I love it here in Santa Clarita,
And you got your citizenship.
and I got my citizenship, and I just that alone, I was always been able to push, just push and push and push, and there was no complaining about my part. I wasn't raised like that. It's just work, work, and you
Sure.
all come together and figure it out.
And you took nothing for granted. And the value of being a citizen, I remember you took great pride in having met that threshold
Yeah. It
and
was
knowing what that meant for your family.
Yeah, it was one of the hardest things I ever had to go through and accomplish, but I did it, and I took my family to the Philippines and took them out to go to
Yes.
Costa Rica
Celebrate.
to celebrate just because I was so
And
happy
you
about
had that US passport. And so I think that's a great story of resilience, perseverance, and the fact that you can accomplish it in this community. And of course, that extends beyond, because I think sharing your stories, it helps people. You inspire people by the fact that you had that, and then you were inspired by your mom. So you're sharing that. I so appreciate and respect you for what you've done. I have a couple more things for you to pick up next week, so I'll call you.
it.
But in the meantime, I am so happy to share your story with the community. It will definitely be something that they can look to and rely on and see, hey, this is a homegrown company with someone that has taken nothing for granted, and every day, one foot in front of the other. So thank you so much, Mo. I really appreciate you taking the time.
For anybody that's listening, I know these are really tough times, and
Mhm.
don't get down. Just like you said, one foot forward, and just we'll figure it out. You'll figure it out, and get some momentum in there. And I've always been taught you get nothing by complaining. So if you're gonna sit there and complain, you're actually not gonna achieve anything. So otherwise, just keep pushing, and you'll get something out of it eventually. So
There you go. I look forward to seeing your truck around town. I wish you the best of luck. I
thank
also look forward to seeing your son working alongside you. I think that's so impressive. So,
you.
congratulations on your new business. And
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you in person again. Thanks again, Mo. Have a good night.
Bye bye.
Bye.